You know the story of the Green Lantern, an intergalactic police force, a ring that turns thoughts into reality, and a whole corps of heroes protecting the universe. You know about Hal Jordan, the cocky test pilot chosen by a dying alien? And you might even know about Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern from the 1940s, whose powers came from a strange, magical flame. For decades, DC Comics has built this rich, complex history for its Emerald Warriors. History that stretches from the sci-fi epic of the Green Lantern Corps to the mystical origins of a power called the Starheart. But what if I told you that the blueprint for this incredible power isn't really found in the pages of a comic book? What if its true history has nothing to do with little blue aliens on the planet OA or a fallen meteorite? What if the secret legend behind Green Lantern S-Ring isn't in the DC universe at all, but in ancient myths, philosophical texts, and fairy tales that are thousands of years old? Today, we re-peeling back the layers of comic book history to uncover the real-world legends that likely inspired one of DC's most powerful weapons. First, let's get the official story straight, because even that is a winding road. Back in 1940, in All-American Comics number 16, readers met Alan Scott. He was a railroad engineer who miraculously survived a bridge collapse because he was holding a mysterious green train lantern. A voice from the lantern, calling itself the Green Flame, told him it was forged from a meteor that fell to Earth centuries ago. It instructed him to fashion a ring from its metal, a ring that would grant him incredible power, limited only by his imagination. This power was pure magic, a kind of contained chaotic energy that later writers would name the Starheart. This Green Lantern was a man of magic and mysticism. But then, almost 20 years later, DC Comics reinvented the hero for the science fiction-obsessed Silver Age. In 1959, Hal Jordan was introduced not as a wielder of magic, but as an officer in a cosmic police force. His ring wasn't mystical. It was a piece of advanced technology created by the Guardians of the Universe, some of the oldest and most intelligent beings in existence. These immortal, blue-skinned aliens lived on the planet OA, at the center of the universe. From there they commanded the Green Lantern Corps, an army of peacekeepers chosen for their ability to overcome great fear. This is the version most of us know: willpower-fueled technology, aliens, and space sectors. So you've got two totally different origins, one of magic, one of science fiction. But if you look closer, the core concepts behind both versions of Magical Ring, a power-granting lantern, and godlike creators, are anything but new. They're archetypes woven from the threads of our oldest stories. Let's start with the most obvious piece of the puzzle, the ring itself. The idea of a ring that grants its wearer extraordinary abilities is a cornerstone of mythology and folklore. Long before comics existed, storytellers were fascinated with the idea of a simple, wearable object holding immense power. One of the earliest and most famous examples comes from the philosopher Plato, in his work The Republic. He tells the story of the Ring of Gyges in this legend. A shepherd named Gyges finds a golden ring on a corpse inside a hidden tomb. He discovers that by turning the ring, he can become completely invisible. With this power, he can do whatever he wants without consequence. He uses the ring to seduce the queen, assassinate the king, and seize the throne. Plato uses this to ask a heavy question. Would anyone stay good if they could get caught? While the Green Lantern ring doesn't grant invisibility, the core idea is the same: a ring that lifts its wearer above the limits of ordinary people, giving them the power to impose their will on the world. Then there's the legendary Ring of Solomon. According to medieval Jewish, Islamic, and Christian folklore, King Solomon was given a signet ring directly from God. This ring was said to give Solomon the ability to command legions of supernatural beings, both good and evil. With it, he could talk to animals, control the elements, and bend demons to his will, forcing them to help build his great temple. Much like a Green Lantern uses their ring to create constructs and enforce order, Solomon used his to command the unseen world and build his kingdom. In both cases, the ring is a symbol of absolute authority, turning the wearer into a figure of immense power. These ancient tales prove that the fantasy of a magical ring is deeply rooted in our collective imagination. Now, let's talk about the lantern. For Alan Scott, the lantern was the literal source of his power. For the Green Lantern Corps, it's a power battery, a charging station for the ring. But why a lantern? The connection becomes crystal clear when you look at one of the most famous stories ever told, Aladdin. Though most of us know the Disney version, the original tale from 1001 Nights is a bit different and way more relevant here. In that story, Aladdin, a poor boy, is tricked by a magician into retrieving a magical oil lamp from a cave. But here is the detail that most modern versions leave out. The magician also gives Aladdin a magic ring to protect him. When Aladdin gets trapped in the cave, he accidentally rubs the ring and summons a genie, or jinn, who helps him escape. He then discovers that the lamp holds an even more powerful genie, and by rubbing both objects, he can command these beings to grant his every wish. Think about the parallels. A magical object, a lamp, or a lantern that you have to interact with to get its power. A being that grants the user's wishes, limited only by their own desires. This is almost exactly how a Green Lantern's power works. The ring brings the user's thoughts to life, creating constructs based entirely on their imagination and willpower. The genie doesn't act on its own. It serves its master's will. The Green Lantern ring is the same. It's a tool, useless without a wielder, to give it direction. The creator of the original Green Lantern, Martin Odell, is directly inspired by tales from 1001 Nights, including Aladdin. He saw a trainman's green railway lantern, connected it to the idea of Aladdin's magic lamp, and the iconic superhero was born. The link isn't just a theory, it's a foundational part of the character's creation. So we've got a magic ring and a wish-granting lantern. But what about the modern sci-fi origin? Who made these all-powerful objects? In the comics, the answer is the Guardians of the Universe, a race of ancient, immortal beings who forged the rings to bring order to the cosmos. They're essentially cosmic gods, and their role perfectly mirrors another mythological archetype, the divine blacksmith. In Greek mythology, this figure is Hephaestus, the god of fire, metalworking, and craftsmanship. Though he was lame and often considered an outcast, Hephaestus was the master artisan of the gods. From his workshop under volcanoes, he forged the incredible weapons and artifacts of Olympus, Zeus's thunderbolts, Achilles' armor, and even created automatons, golden servants who could think and speak for themselves. He was a creator of wonders, a builder of divine technology that was basically indistinguishable from magic. Now, DC may not have had a bust of Hephaestus on their desks, but this is an almost perfect description of the Guardians of the Universe. They are ancient, brilliant beings who, from their cosmic forge on OA, created the most powerful weapons in the universe, the power rings and the central power battery that fuels them all. Their first attempt at creating order, the robotic manhunters, feels eerily similar to Hephaestus crafting living statues. While DC Comics dresses it up in science fiction, the Guardians are playing the exact same narrative role as Hephaestus, or even the dwarves of Norse mythology who forged Thor's hammer. They're the master craftsmen, the godlike beings, who create the tools that heroes use to shape destiny. Section 5. The philosophy of willpower, finally. Let's look at the fuel source itself, willpower. The idea that a strong will can literally reshape reality is a powerful and very old philosophical concept. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Plato and Aristotle debated the nature of akrasia, or weakness, of the will. Socrates argued that no one willingly does wrong, they just lack the knowledge of what's truly good. For him, a strong will was tied to wisdom. The Stoics took this even further, teaching that the human will was the one thing truly within our control. And through discipline, a person could become mentally unshakable. This idea is even more central in many Eastern traditions. In Buddhism, determination and mental discipline are essential for achieving enlightenment and overcoming the illusions of reality. These philosophies treat willpower not just as a personality trait, but as a fundamental force you can train and strengthen, a force capable of changing yourself and the world. When the Green Lanterns channel the green light of will, they're tapping into this ancient philosophical tradition. Their power is a direct manifestation of this idea that determination isn't just an emotion, but the most stable and powerful energy in the universe. Later Green Lantern stories expanded on this with the emotional spectrum, assigning a color to different emotions like rage red, hope blue, and fear yellow. This also has ancient roots, as colors have held deep symbolic meaning for millennia. But it's the green light of will that sits right at the center, representing the balanced mind and the focused soul. So, when you pull all these threads together, the picture becomes incredibly clear. The Green Lantern ring isn't just some random comic book invention, it's a powerful cocktail of timeless myths. It's the ring of Gyges from Plato, giving a mortal man the power of a god. It's the ring of Solomon, allowing its wielder to command forces beyond human understanding. The power battery is the magic lamp of Aladdin, a vessel of infinite possibility, just waiting for a master with the will to command it. The guardians of OA are Hephaestus in his forge, the cosmic architects creating divine tools for their chosen champions. And the willpower that fuels it all is a concept pulled straight from ancient philosophy, the idea that the focused human spirit can overcome any obstacle. From Greek philosophy to medieval legends and Arabian Nights, the DNA of the Green Lantern is hiding in plain sight, scattered throughout our oldest and most cherished stories. DC Comics didn't so much invent these ideas as they did brilliantly repackage them for a modern audience, swapping genies for aliens and magic for super science. They created a hero that resonates so deeply because his power is built on a foundation of universal myth. The story of the Green Lantern proves that even in the farthest reaches of space, our most ancient legends still shine the brightest. What other superhero weapons do you think have a secret history buried in mythology? Is Thor's hammer more than just a Norse legend? Is Wonder Woman's lasso hiding a deeper story? Let me know your theories down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the secret history of comics, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more nerdy breakdowns. Thanks for watching.